Good afternoon. I'm following this lazy-looking stream through the Kaibab National Forest. Mostly because I was hoping to find a way across without getting my feet wet. But before I take off my shoes and wade on in, I'm going to stop here and talk some anime.
Escaflowne, the movie.
In the year 2000, 4 years after the Escaflowne TV series ended, it was totally reimagined as a theatrical movie. The differences almost outnumber the similarities. The other world of Gaia is a primitive, violent place where magic is real and humans live among dogmen, catwomen, and other hybrid races. A war rages with the conquering armies of the Black Dragon clan advancing through kingdom after kingdom, leaving death and destruction in its wake. A few of the dispossessed from those conquered lands have banded together into a small resistance, pinning their hopes for victory on the revival of the legendary dragon armor, Escaflowne, which is actually a biomechanical robot of some sort. Vaughn, a young surviving leader of the ancient dragon clan, might be able to actually control that legendary weapon, but Vaughn's a loner, bitter and violent. He's working grudgingly with the resistance leaders, and he's found Escaflowne. Now he just needs the sanction of the Wind Goddess and her permission to use it. Meanwhile, back on Earth, high school girl Hitomi is growing depressed and isolated, withdrawing from life and even considering suicide. Somehow she has a strange vision of a hooded man calling to her and naming her the Wind Goddess. Soon enough, she's magically drawn into Escaflowne and the mysterious world of Gaia, only to meet Vaughn, who calls her Wind Goddess and asks that she let him use Escaflowne to slaughter her enemies, by which he means his enemies, of course. Now she's not only depressed, she's confused. When Escaflowne disappears, Hitomi is left with a rather angry Vaughn, who doesn't handle his disappointment well. Vulcan is leader of the Black Dragons. He's also Vaughn's brother, who usurped his throne. He lives in isolation on a great flying fortress. Thanks to his mystic seer, Vulcan knows that the Wind Goddess is descended to Gaia, but to Vaughn and not to him. So he sends his most psychotic battle commander, Delandu, out to fetch her. Hitomi doesn't know how or why, but both sides in Gaia's war seem to think that she's the key to victory. Sooner or later she'll have to choose a side, and then she'll have to choose between destruction or life. This is the movie version of Escaflowne, A Girl in Gaia, which is considerably different than its TV predecessor. The movie version of Escaflowne is neither a sequel nor a retelling of the original. Kazuki Akane directed both, and also co-wrote the script for the movie. Shoji Kawamori, who wrote the TV series, is credited only with original story and animation for the movie, which doesn't sound like a major role, except that what's been done here is very much what like Kawamori himself did when he made the Macross movie, Do You Remember Love? A complete rethinking of a TV show into a new movie. The story of Escaflowne has been drastically overhauled, reimagined, replotted, redesigned, and retold. It's at once familiar and also quite different. Rather than try to condense the story from 26 episodes of a TV series into an hour and 40 minutes of movie, the movie refocuses the story onto a single conflict. It joins the war near its end. The fall of several kingdoms is in the past. All that stuff from the TV series about Hitomi's fortune-telling and controlling fate in Atlantis is gone. One of the best things about the TV show is its strong collection of characters, especially Hitomi, Vaughn, and Vulcan. Here, they all start out as emotionally damaged people. Vaughn is a bitter, murderous warrior, a loner slaying his enemies. Instead of the perky Hitomi from the TV series, in the movie she begins as withdrawn and depressed, rejecting friendship on Earth and in Gaia. Vulcan lives almost alone in his vast palace, with only his mystic seer for company, oblivious to her apparent affections. Vaughn and Vulcan live only to fight and destroy. The movie makes them harder to like or identify with. I thought this might be a problem for anyone who hadn't seen the TV series and didn't come with a reservoir of affection for these characters. But I've asked people who haven't seen the TV series and they didn't think it was a problem. All that streamlining means that the story still has a reasonable pace. Less is more. It doesn't feel rushed, and it has some time to pause and reflect, to breathe. One place where I thought the movie could have used a little expansion is in the emotional transformation. When Hitomi first meets Vaughn, he first thinks she's a goddess, and when she doesn't deliver, he threatens to kill her, only to be dissuaded by his allies. The next time they meet, he's saving her life from enemy soldiers. Hitomi enters the story back on Earth feeling depressed and friendless, even as she works to push away those who are her friend. Hitomi and Vaughn spend some time together alone in an isolated village on Gaia, where she remembers the joy of companionship and life. Then she needs to communicate that joie de vivre to Vaughn. I thought that section could have used a little more time to expand that period, for Hitomi especially, because I didn't fully feel her transformation.
どうして？
国を滅ぼした兄を倒すことだけが一人生き残った俺の生きてる理由だから。
人を傷つけて傷つけられて生きるなんて辛いよね。私生きてることの意味が分かんなくなっちゃった。私もバーンと同じだね。
The movie narrows the TV show's cast quite a bit too. Some major characters from the TV show are in small supporting roles now, and a few of the secondary characters in the TV series are gone altogether or have only brief appearances in different contexts. Meryl, Vaughn's catgirl admirer, returns, but she talks about Vaughn more than she's actually seen with him. Swordsman Allen is still leader of the Resistance, but he isn't terribly important to the plot, and his relationship to Vaughn is unexplored. He's already paired with Malerna, who's picked up a new wardrobe and some new weapons and a more active role. She befriends Hitomi. On the other hand, some of the other characters in the TV series still make brief appearances, but more as background extras than real cast members. They're more a visual nod to the fans. The most striking cameo appearance is probably by the twins, who were warrior pilots in the TV show and have been reborn as lounge singers in the movie. The movie's artwork is lovely. The scenery is exotic. Gaia is an imaginative world. But those who saw the TV series have seen a different and more wondrous world of Gaia than the movie will have time to show. In fact, the movie version reimagines the setting in architecture, clothing, culture, and weapons. This looks like quite a different Gaia than the TV series. Nobuteru Yuki, who did the character designs for the TV series, revised them for the movie. They're still instantly recognizable, but with subtle changes in face, stature, and costume. They're drawn with greater detail, depth, and shading, too. Likewise, the scenery and backgrounds have been done in more detail. Sunrise had the animation done by Studio Bones, and it's a smooth and pleasant, through theatrical treatment. In the TV series, Escaflowne dabbled in a little early CGI to help for textures. Here they've achieved far more, less obtrusively. Even great animators make a little mistakes, by the way. Here's a shot of the cabin of an airship as it turns left. Note the sun's shadow is moving in the wrong direction.
Can't stabilize altitude. We're going around the mountain and flying over Sasi. General?
Yes, I can be that picky. Sorry. The musical score uses some of Yoko Kanno's nice compositions from the TV series, plus some new works by her, and a few by Hajime Mizoguchi. The music carried over from the TV series has a distinctive techno-beat Baroque chant style, but the movie's other music is eclectic. You'd think a shorter video would be more, not less stylistically cohesive, but it blends together surprisingly well in the story. Both the original Japanese and English voice casts reprise their roles from the movie. I prefer the Japanese soundtrack over the movie. Part of that's mere familiarity. I give the Escaflowne movie 4.5 stars. It's pretty to watch and has some nice action scenes, but mostly it's about the characters finding a way to shed their past pain and embrace the joys of life. Hitomi finds her reason to live and communicates her wish to Vaughn, avoiding further self-destruction. Vulcan is unable to give up his lust for destruction, and so is destroyed by it. If you've seen the TV series, put it out of your mind and expect something completely different, even a little better. It's a nice, positive, uplifting fairy tale. The Escaflowne movie is available from Bandai in a standalone DVD or packaged with the TV series in the complete Escaflowne set.
Thanks for watching.